Talk about a return to form. I am presently sitting in the same room that has become synonymous with the content and whatnot. And you can probably notice the sound's a little bit different because of the echo from the crap they put on the floor, but whatever. As promised, I am doing a Monday stream as I said I would because I like to be, I like to keep up with my claims and my statements and whatnot. Um, I don't really think much has happened today, other than well, there's the story with the with Hallmark where they had an advertisement depicting a lesbian couple, and some right wing group got them to buck under pressure and take it down. So then, after getting rid of the ad, they then put it back up, following backlash from a group of LGBT supporters. And Fox was making fun of them. They said, "This company stands for nothing. You don't even know what side they're on." And I had to agree with them. It's always a sad day when I have to sit there and co-sign with Fox. But uh, just a word of advice for any future company CEO or person in management of any of these companies: it's not a very bright idea to limit groups with whom believe you support them. So, for example, let's say I am a person who, I don't know, doesn't like gay people, right? Which I'm not, but just in this example, it is not feasibly nor commercially beneficial for that position of mine to be something that is publicly known. Therefore, I'm not going to let that position influence the marketing or appeal or attempts at appealing to that community by my company. Again, no logic. And these are successful companies that will screw up on something so basic, which is don't limit your audience. The more people you can get, grab them. We're getting the impeachment vote on Wednesday, apparently, and I already told you what the deal is with that. Voted guilty in the House, acquitted in the Senate. 5 to 6 months of everyone's life wasted, and no one's gonna get upset over that. No one's gonna say this is stupid and just whatever. Oh, we're just gonna keep sitting here spinning. He'll have a higher approval rating, and then whoever the Democrat is gonna have to bear the brunt of this dumb decision to get rid of him, or to get rid of him while knowing you can't get rid of him. And I've been watching some of the progressive commentators who support the articles and this whole saga since it began in late September, and I've just been like sitting here just wagging my head back and forth because one of the critiques I have of a lot of left wing outlets online, the ones that are supposed to be progressive, is that like anytime they talk about Trump, there seems to be this almost lack of, basically they sound identical to a regular standard neoliberal. Um, they're talking about he's done all these horrible things, and it's like, yeah, but because we're supposed to be the group that remembers and does not have some strict boundary making us support one party, we can also bring up horrible things that Obama or Bush did, which is why I was very, satisfied to see them talk about the Afghanistan papers and how for 18 years, three presidents from both political parties basically lied to us. And it's one of those little things that comes out, and it's such a clear reminder of why I don't take a lot of these modern politicians seriously, because like they'll get up there. You had Schiff on, I believe it was Fox yesterday. Or he had some interview over the last 2 days, and during the interview he mentions, well, if Obama did this stuff, I would definitely want to get rid of him as well. And I'm like, you still haven't figured it out, have you? That the only reason we get any impeachments is because one party takes control of the one chamber or the other, and then tries to get rid of whoever the opposite party's person is in the White House. So if the same thing were done by Trump's immediate predecessor, because you have the same D next to your name, you're going to let him slide on by because you're a partisan hack. But he wanted to get up there and pretend, yes, I believe I'd have the integrity to stand. No, you wouldn't. You would bow down and beg and grovel at his feet, just like all the other Democrats. It's like, and who are they fooling? Because everyone, like, I guarantee you, before this impeachment trash started, no one knew who Schiff was. No one knew who Nadler was. People knew who Waters was because she kept talking about it for 2 years. But these are people who are literally only ever going to be remembered for being part of an attempt to get rid of a president, while also knowing from the beginning of the attempt to get rid of the president that they couldn't get rid of the president because they don't have enough votes. And then Fox did something I thought was amusing, which is they took pictures of Manchin, Sinema, and then what's the other one? Jones from Alabama, the one that's going to get defeated by Moore next year, or Sessions if he wins that primary. They took their pictures and they're like, these are the 3 Democrats who could possibly buck their party and vote against Trump's impeachment. And I'm like, oh my God, why are none of these liberal networks, again, liberal quote unquote, like MSNBC talking about that? Because we've had, all kind of different times where Manchin has been the one Democrat to vote against his own party. I've mentioned him being the only one to vote for both of Trump's Supreme Court nominees, several cabinet nominees. It's so pathetic that these places, like you go and watch Ari Melber, right? That's one of the people on MSNBC. And he really tries to make it sound like he's doing some kind of informative, oh, how you doing, Ruben? Anti-impeachment thing that Graham had. I shouldn't be calling it stupid because it at least tells us who we know for fact is like has no possible chance of, switching over. Damn, Ruben left. he was like, I'm just gonna leave this one comment and disappear. Yeah, it's a really pathetic series of events. No, he's still on the anti impeachment side. I actually did I recorded a video this past weekend about one of his comments he made this weekend that I thought was, I gained a little bit more respect for him because he was very honest about who he is. Partisan hack reveals his true colors. I might even call it that Graham reveals his true colors. And then it, like, in the thumbnail, I'm gonna make his like whole face, what do you call it? Just be a rainbow, like it's red at the top, orange in the middle. Like, if I had to Photoshop town, I'd probably do that. Yeah, he flipped. Wait, Oliver, what do you mean? Do your eyes deceive? You're talking about? Told you that thing this past week was a temporary arrangement and a social experiment. We were trying to see if the businesses over here were trying to hire some new person and if the room for rents were available. And it turned out that the room for rents were hosted by a bunch of horny dudes trying to get a live-in whore. And then the businesses, you send out 20 applications, you don't hear from any of them. Oh, CK, this is, I started off by mentioning the little thing with Hallmark where they bucked under pressure and pulled an ad. Yeah, Envoy. I said that I was going to be over if I couldn't manage, and I couldn't manage it. But again, because I'm not stupid, I didn't tell these people off because I wanted to leave that back door open for me to return. And it worked. Now, you were one of the people that signed the right-wing petition to get that ad removed. You said, 2 women kissing each other. We must get rid of this sacrilege on our television. It's gonna be so annoying to stream now because that echo is so like no one's here currently, but oh my god. Yeah, two lesbians kissing each other. These right wing groups were so disgusted by that. You know, they're actually on. I was on Twitter. I haven't been on there in about maybe 3 weeks because, like I said, I don't use them anymore after what they did to me. And someone was like, "It's 2019, and we still." It's like you. I didn't respond, but I thought to myself, "You really believe there's like going to be this magical year where all the bigots disappear?" Like 2040, all the rest of the bigots just fade away. No, we already did that. It was called Back to the Soar. Told you I don't mess with Twitter anymore. They made me upset to the point of no return. I go on there just to lurk. I don't even respond to anything. They're trying to do me like Alex Jones. They got rid of a whole bunch of people. They got rid of him, Laura Loomer. What's the other one? McAdams, the one that hosts that show with Paul. Just Jesus Christ. I think I might have been the only left wing person that they got rid of. But that was because I was saying that anti-war stuff to the presidential candidates or on their pages or whatever. I need my fix. Well, again, damn, this is gonna suck so much. It's like every room I'm in because of the hardwood floor now echoes. Like, this was such a dumb decision. You know, thank God I don't have the brain that these people do. But we have to pay the price for their decisions. So I'll see about trying to do it again. The issue here is that since I don't have because the way it would work is I'd put my computer on my bed. I don't even know where that is currently, so I'm gonna have to do it like this, which is aggravating as hell. And like I said, it's the reason why I couldn't do any of the like edited stuff. Well, that was also the Wi-Fi. But again, if the next, I don't want to put a timestamp on it because these people have been doing this stuff for now a week and they're still not finished. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm literally sitting here staring at my ripped off room door. Like, what the hell? Yeah, Ruben, I am. I can wait until you're accumulated. Oh, I was trying to sound like a scholar. He's trying to, he's going to lead the movement he's going to have a petition to bring back the Dark Times series. It's going to make a great comeback, a little return. Telling the other never Trump neocons to consider supporting Joe Biden for president. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Biden is one of the, architects of harsher criminal justice policies, a hawk on war. I think I mentioned before, I wrote out the whole script, and the same week that I was going to record it, they did this. Like, I literally have nowhere to mount another device to record this stuff at this point. Yeah, I know, Ruben. It's really funny because the '90s crime bill, yeah, they ruined it. I had this perfect setup for editing, and for doing all the video stuff, and it was gotten rid of because of a stupid project that someone decided on a whim to put in place. You know, I was gonna point out, well, technically music theme, but tomorrow's my last day. I was going to point out, Ruben, there's actually the Senate vote for the '90s crime bill, and it's like almost entirely Republican senators that voted against it. I just thought that was so funny because, like, they always get associated with being evil, but they're doing the thing that like left-wing people would agree with. There was a lot of dodgy legal procedures that occurred during 9/11. Yeah, very much so. Dude, every documentary I do from now on is going to be ruined. Like the McConnell one got ruined because C-SPAN made it to where you can't download their videos manually and you have to like record the screen or something. And then the Corbin one got ruined because the same week I was gonna film it, they ripped everything up and destroyed my whole like place of recording stuff. It just, oh, this is so horrible. And I hate that too because if I can, like, it doesn't take long to make those once you have the script. So I literally sat here painstakingly writing all this stuff out, and then Envoy, that's already been done before. You know how many documentaries on 9/11 there are, or on World War II? Any of these other world-altering events? Like the whole point of the let me just I'll make get off this point very quickly, but the whole point of the ones I do were to be based around people or topics that would not be covered or that I don't think would be covered at all or that often. That's why out of all the US presidents, I pick the Johnson that is only remembered for being the first one impeached, and then the president that is literally wedged between the iconic ones of Roosevelt and Wilson. I wouldn't mind you talking about it, but well, I'm just saying that my whole thing is the forgotten man and stuff that people don't remember. So, I mean, if I go and do something that everybody recalls, it's like when Rob Vulture said, do the documentary on Epstein. It's like, everyone's talking about that. It's not interesting to me. And sometimes I can be interested in stuff that people are discussing. Like with the Corbin one, the whole point of me going and doing that one was because Ruben liked it, and that was also a politician I really like who has been around for decades. And I think if we go back, if it's 30 years from now, and people are talking about progressivism in the United Kingdom, he's one of the main architects of that, or one of the central figures of that ideology from this period. So, that was something I was gearing up to. And even more so, like people would usually say, oh, this person lost, so, whatever. But I'm even more interested in him now that he's lost for prime minister, because I kind of have this thing where when someone is the head of state of their country, I find them, I don't want to say less interesting, but certainly not as engaging of a person to discuss, because the head of state of any country is usually like the figurehead person they prop up and talk the most about. So, like, I'd rather do all the chief justices before I did all the presidents, which would actually be much easier because there's only about 17 or 18 of them. Do you think you would cover Netanyahu? Oh, yeah. But again, I want to, it's the same issue with Giuliani where interesting topic, but look at the time we're living in. He's for all we know, going to be in jail next year, but we don't know for sure if that's actually going to happen. So I'm trying to see what the outcome of that is before we try to, cover his whole life. And you know what I'm saying? It's an ongoing situation. Like I wouldn't do a document. If I did a documentary about Trump, it would be everything before he became president, which would probably still be 2 or 3 videos by itself. So yeah, this is all about just trying to make this stuff work. And then with the Giuliani one, I mentioned that if I had my way, I'd do 3 of them, and it would be one from when, his life up until 9/11, then 9/11 up until Trump becomes president, then all the Ukraine stuff from the last 2 years, and anything else wedged in between there. But I can't make that 3rd part until we see what happens here. It's an ongoing saga. A lot of times you can't really break something down until it's over. Now, I wouldn't have that same, just to give you an example, I wouldn't feel the same way about a senator, because In the case of a lot of them, you don't know if you're going to even be alive by the time they get out. But even if, let's say, someone has, I don't know, had 2 terms, right, and they might theoretically have 3 or 4 more, like Manchin, for example, there's still enough material there for me to cover and state the significance of him as a senator without, having experienced the entirety of his career. Keep sticking my thumb up in front. That's why somebody left. They get sick of seeing my enormous thumb. I made Envoy pissed off. He left. He said, "Give me Netanyahu, or I'm taking my wrench with me." That'd be funny if you could unmod yourself. I don't want any more association with this channel after the amount of delays to the Netanyahu documentary. He's like, screw this. Yeah, the news has been really slow other than those 2 stories. I still haven't addressed the labor destruction thing, but that'll be in tomorrow's video. And I'll go back to having this background for like the rest of the week, but that's because I recorded that stuff on Saturday. So that'll be the reason why there's such a big disconnect in terms of the presentation and views of things. Always had that nice little shadow. And nobody wants to write anything else. I got 6 people here, no one wants to say anything. I'm so disappointed. I thought Envoy was going to throw out some more people to mention. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into the documentaries. And it's funny because usually when you gather the clips, it doesn't take that long if it's stuff that's on some site like YouTube or Dailymotion. But when you're trying to write out the text, like if I do a senator, I go and look through most of their votes, like on Senate.gov, and I have to decide manually which one's important enough. Yeah, he must have left. He got. I didn't do anything to him. That really surprised me. I don't think between how many mods? It's you, Ruben, Brawl Vulture, and then I think Boa who like disappeared for 2 weeks. But like out of the 4 of you, I don't think I've seen anybody do that. Like someone. The Corbyn movement got hijacked by SJW cosplay communists who turned his campaign into a laughingstock. Well, in the upload, I was saying that like his position on Brexit overruled all the progressive proposals because they're trying to say, "Oh my God, he was trying to be a social democrat." It's like, yeah, but that's not what made people say, ugh. It was having a position of let's stay in the European Union. And then during this election, we're going to campaign to get out if you have a second referendum. Well, I thought you supported the other way. Which way are you? He's doing that Mitt Romney thing in the UK. I don't usually do that since I'm cool, but I didn't see his name before. He was talking trash. Well, you did the same thing. One time I logged into my account and I saw you post some comment and you said that I was your 3rd favorite socialist. And I was hurt by this because I asked myself who were the top 2. And then somebody else asked you who were the top 2. And you said that I was ranked very low behind Noam Chomsky and Howard Zinn. And that I was slowly being edged out by Nelson Mandela. And I was just like, man, it's ridiculous. I don't think I'd ever seen that guy before. He was a brand new person. Envoy scared him off. Oh, that's already happened. I mean, you can't support Sanders enthusiastically without being called that. Just like the one guy who was like, "You like Johnson, so you're a warmonger. You automatically support Vietnam." There's no way you could possibly like a historical figure and not support everything they did. All these labels that people have no idea what it means. Yeah, like socialist literally has two definitions. You have the Marxist one that the Republicans use, where they're like, that's just a nice, cute little way of saying communist. And then you have the means of production being controlled by the people, whatever. But yeah, it's just a word they throw around to get people scared. It's the new Red Scare. I actually would love if like I did a socialist Sunday or some stream with that in the title, and I have a picture of McCarthy or some other deity behind me. Are you aware of the Nick Fuentes guy? I am not. Never seen him before. Must be some new character. Some new chap. Man, I'm already picturing how annoying streams are gonna be. Like you literally, I'd have to just speak at this volume, and it would still be loud. I hate people so much. A lot of these also implied the dumb anti-Semitism smears were legit. Oh, I saw an article on The Hill in reference to that. I was going to cover it, but I ran out of time, about how the anti-Semitism movement lives on, even though Corbyn's Labor Party has been defeated and all that trash. Attract some controversial viewers for sure. Yeah, but you know, I kind of, I don't want them to just start sitting in here talking about ideology all day long. Only time I bring up ideology is when it's to serve a point of hypocrisy. Like when I mentioned how the conservatives that oppose restrictions on guns will say it's the people, not the weapons. But then when you mention wanting, you know, like a social program, they'll say, oh, welfare makes people not have dads. Like, but you just said it was the people, not the system for guns, or rather not the the feature. So wouldn't the same thing apply with welfare, where it's the people who make the decision to use it? And if you can give someone some dollars just so they can get away from another person, did they ever really care about them in the first place? And that's why I gave the example. I said, like, Envoy, if someone gave you $1 million to never see your mother again, would you do it? Thoughts on him? Man who ever runs part of the cabinet. Well, you know, the only office with the cabinet is the governor and the president. And I couldn't even do that for governor because you're in another state, so it wouldn't even be possible. I already said that I do have interest in running against my congressperson, but the issue is that I don't know if anyone would donate other than Ruben. We have like, that person have like $200,000 and I have like $5 or something. But like, thanks, Ruben. See, we would be your biggest supporters, I guess. Again, like the problem with most campaigns outside of the White House is they're so, like, if I was going to do that, I'd want at least a campaign rally a week, and then maybe also some like buttons, flyers, all the little paraphernalia. Wouldn't waste any time with TV ads because they're not worth, you know, sticking up there. Ooh, vote for this person. 20 minutes later, vote for this person. They're not that effective. That's why Bloomberg has been running them like crazy. I've seen maybe one Sanders ad for every 50 Bloomberg ads, and he's still at like, you know, 5th place or whatever. And the only reason he's even doing that good is because most of the other candidates nobody ever heard of in the first place. So they do help with name recognition, but they're not worth my time. I would bang on doors, get the signatures, and then go from there. probably wouldn't even bother debating the incumbent because they're too busy with this impeachment stuff. Like if you go on their Twitter, all they do is sit there talking trash about Trump. Nothing about single payer, nothing about ending the war. Just they go along to get along. They want to sit in there for another 20 or 30 years. I was talking about morons like Owen Jones and Ash Senker who caused more harm to Corbyn and Labor. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah, I got to brush up on my commentators and the various other characters involved with this stuff. That was my mistake. I feel so ignorant. Damn, I wish I could get my finger out of the way. You know, I should have flipped it the other way around because then it wouldn't be visible. Like if I put it down here, it doesn't do that. Yeah, they're really just a waste of space. And I guess with me, I could never imagine having a bunch of terms and just like never doing anything whatsoever. Like they're realistically a possible contender for speaker, and if they ever became that, whether it's because Pelosi said she wants to step down after another term, so 2 years, you still wouldn't get anything of any substance. It would just be something to put on your resume. I was Speaker of the House. Oh, good for you. Let's see. His movement, put in quotation marks. It's like, if you can call it that. I was about to make some hot eggs because I have this person coming back and they said an hour, but you know how people are. They show up a little bit earlier, a little bit later. And then you got to worry about the factor of other people that sometimes, oh, I'm dropping back by. How you doing? And then your whole stream is ruined. I remember I used to have that one rule where I would, man, is he a great speaker? Yeah, I haven't knowingly heard him speak, but I remember I used to have this one rule where anytime a stream would get interrupted by someone saying hello, I'd be like, oh, I got to end this and cancel it and whatnot. Now I don't even care because I'm only getting like 5 people anyway. Just like whatever. And I remember I did this one Saturday where they had, it was the same, I think 2 or 3 people that kept it was like 2 or 3 times back, just interruption. I just said, screw it. But from this point forward, I don't care who says whatever. It's just keep going. Yeah, it's sad because I really do want to do a lot of things with with editing. Like I want to do a documentary for at least the like out of the current Supreme Court justices, maybe about half of them. And then also for all of the chief justices. I was going to do all the presidents, but I think what I'll probably do is maybe out of, because my thing is I realize people, their memories are a lot crappier when it comes to figures that didn't serve when they were alive. So maybe I'll do, I don't know. I have a list, so I'll prioritize, like I said, the ones that I think don't get talked about enough. And then we can go from there. But I did shift my goal. Originally, I was like, I'm going to cover all of them. Now it's like, maybe not. Just like at one point, I wanted to do a documentary that was going to be all the governors of my state. And it would be like, oh, this governor, and then 5 minutes talking about that person. And then, next one after that. Because I couldn't do a full-length thing for each one of them since, when in the case of a lot of them, there's not that much information really known. Yeah, there are a lot of offices in the U.S. that are significant. Like mayor of New York, for obvious reasons, those big cities, they're instantly places that have a bunch of presidential candidates and influential politicians. And I can't believe Android left me to go make that hot chocolate. I'll never forgive him. What a sick thing. You know, people have that where, like, I always thought if I left for a minute to go do something and I just paused the stream, people will get pissed off. Where did he go? That's one whole minute I could have heard of extra content and you ruined it by doing something off camera. Like, well, hell, I can't control if, you know, some random person comes in here and says, help me lift this or whatever. I did like that with the computer, I didn't have to hold it, so I could just, you know, place it somewhere, pause the button, walk away, come back. But they're not, you know, this doesn't allow for that. But again, if I'm able to get the setup somewhat similar to how it was before, then it'll be a possible thing that I can do. I'm just sitting in this empty room, just like completely astonished that you would lift all that stuff up and even attempt to get rid of some of it just for the hell of it, all for a crappy floor that, whatever, man. People have so many problems that I'm not even gonna bother trying to make it make sense. Just know I'm surrounded by idiots, man, just clowns, people that do things that I will never understand. Because people get upset over stuff I can't comprehend. Ruben, you have anything left to say? Any final comments or positions? Statements or theories? You know, I remember it was, I was hoping you would make some vanilla tea. Mix it up a little bit. Yeah, I was saying that I actually had thought maybe about 3 weeks ago where I was gonna just take one of the, because I started writing out scripts for a documentary on Hayes, and then for one on Pierce, and then one on Polk. And I was gonna write out the one on Polk in a day and then record all of it. Like, it was gonna be this really quick, speedy kind of thing. I was like, man, I can't do that. I'm not gonna kill myself making this video to get 30 views. I said, I'm good. I remember, Envoy, you had that joke where you're like, I guess Ruben's never gonna get that second documentary on the president. Then it came out and I didn't even see you in the comment section. Just disappeared. He might never get that third one, but he got that second one. And Ruben, I think I mentioned to you that the computer I use to stream has a crappy space bar. So the space bar technically works, but it doesn't where, you know, you just click the button and it moves over. You have to like stick your finger in the middle of the space. Because I took the top off, I was trying to fix it and it didn't work. So the one computer I use that actually let me type stuff like a normal person, right, was taken apart by them for this crap here. Like, they messed with and then they took the keyboard, because I was thinking maybe I could just take the keyboard and mount it to the other thing. I don't even know where they put that. It's like, ah, damn it. See what else is here. All right, Ruben's tapped out. Envoy, do you have anything left to say? Any last statements, comments, positions, theories, thoughts, speculation? None of that? Any Christmas movies you're gonna snuggle up in your bed to watch? What's that one Cartoon Network one? Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. I might watch that just to reminisce about when it came out, or, you know, just to, I guess, see something from a more fun time, you know, nostalgia. Other than that, I'm probably just gonna, I mean, I don't, like I said, these holidays don't do anything for me anymore. They're just kind of here. Because the thing is, they by themselves aren't annoying. I just hate having to like see people that ignore you all year long come around and be like, hi, You know, it's stupid. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but just picture someone who lives in the same city and state as you, has your phone number, knows where you live, and throughout the entire year they only show up for holidays or when they can get some free food or a free gift. I hate that so much. Dude, like I said, I pick my battles, but if I were just a teeny bit more confrontational, I would seriously curse these people out. Because I really despise, I don't do that to people unless I'm dragged over to someone's place against my will, you know. Uh, I mean, it's been stupid for a long time, so that's why you heard it back then. I told you, I try to remain consistent. I've attempted to, you know, not do any flip flopping, not like that broad I told you about yesterday in that was it the stream with 20 people where it was me talking about the chick that like went from, oh, I think we should speak to each other, to in the span of a month disappearing twice and then saying, I have now thought about it and no longer believe we should interact. And then scheduled to speak with me a couple days later. And then a few minutes after scheduling another call, sends me some weird paragraph message about don't contact me or my friends anymore, even though I never contacted your friends. Then she deletes it and I screenshot it before that. It's like, what the hell is this? And then she wouldn't answer and just like, all right, I'm done with you. So I said, I maybe for Christmas I can get consistency from the people I know, or like an eighth of a brain inserted or something. Just a higher intellect will emerge within them all. I don't even think I'm asking for much. I just don't get these types of things that people are doing. It's really weird to me. I don't think so. Only because if it was just me alone, I wouldn't have a problem doing that. But because people like to mess with you from literally the start of Christmas Day to the end of Christmas night, I probably won't have an occasion. If I do, it probably would have to be really early in the morning or something. Like I could just stick up an upload if that were the case. All right, so are there any final comments, theories, claims, positions? Because I'm trying to make sure I don't have this person come back and think I'm a lunatic for talking to myself, even though I'm not. Anything left to say? We're just gonna stare at me for the next few minutes. All right, cool. So I'll put up the uploads between Tuesday to Friday, and then I'll try to. Oh, mainstream media is still forcing the idea of Stacey Abrams for VP. She's not going to be vice president of anything. Cause that's just a little dumb idea they have floating around. Because they think, oh my God, if you put a black person, take it, all the black people will vote for that person because they're black. Yeah, it works so well for Harris and Booker that one of them's out and the other one has one foot in the grave for this election cycle. So I'll put up stuff between Tuesday to Friday, and then I'll try to see if I can stream on Saturday, depending on if this place still looks as horrible as it does right now. So thank you, and have a good day.